Going for it.
Going to New York City.
That was the coolest thing ever. Do it again. Yeah, do it again. Tim, what did you just get your first glance of?
Statue of Liberty.
How cool is that? It's so cool.
I'm just blown away. It's overwhelming.
We are in New York City. So pretty. It's all lit up. Magical.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Welcome back.
We had made it to the Delaware River.
Absolutely. We were sitting tight looking for a good weather window to make our way north.
And in the meantime, we decided we should at least make our way towards the mouth of the Delaware River and station somewhere near Cape May, because it was a great day to be near Cape May.
Do you say?
So we decided that we're gonna head out and go up the coast and do an overnight passage instead of stop here because the weather looks good and there's nothing we really want to do here. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Going for it. Coming out of the Delaware and the tides are a little bit crazy.
Yeah, the two bodies of water kind of meeting each other somewhat violently. I'm sure it gets pretty gnarly at times right now. It's just weird, and there's swells that don't exist pop up and then flatten out. So it's, yeah, the two bodies of water mixing. And we're just kind of spinning around in the middle of it.
Yeah. We're just off of Cape May. There's Cape May.
Finally, we are back in cleanish water.
Yay!
Entering the Atlantic. The Chesapeake, I know you can, in the southern part of the Chesapeake, we did run the Watermaker, and it's less salty, so we actually made a lot for this system, a lot more than the rated amount. But as you got further north, it just got more particulates, more tannins. I don't know. We didn't want to run it and hurt it. I'm sure it would have been fine.
And we had plenty of water.
And then the C&D Canal coming down the Delaware River was just so much sediment. You couldn't see the props. We haven't seen the props on the boat since we put it in the water. Basically.
I know.
It's been that kind of water. So finally, time to put in new filters. I cleaned the whole system out, and then we pickled it, as they say. So that membrane in the back there has got something like glycol in it, I think. I bought some more of it, but that's supposed to preserve it, to keep any bacteria from growing and ruining that. So as long as that worked, we should be okay. But yeah, I'm excited to make some water and then taste it, make sure that we don't need to buy a new membrane. So for those of you who don't have a Watermaker, there's 3 different filters on ours. These 2 are for the Watermaker themselves, just to get particulates out, 20 micron, 5 micron. And then this one is a charcoal, 1 micron. And this is actually, when you flush it from this side, using some of the water on board, if you've gotten any water from a tap like we have, it can have, well, it generally will have chlorine in it, and that can ruin your membrane. So this one's whole purpose is actually to prevent chlorine and any other contaminant that can hurt the membrane from getting to it. And then these are to filter seawater. Now there's a strainer, obviously, where we pull seawater in. That's your first stage of filtration, then a 20, then a 5, and then it goes through. So
very cool.
There you go.
It's really loud right now because we have an engine going and the Watermaker's going, but it feels so good to be back out in the open ocean. Like the big swells instead of like choppy little waves. So nice. And Not a lot of wind, but a little bit of wind. So we are moving somewhat. But just enjoying being out here now.
This was kind of an unexpected overnight passage, and I'll admit it was a bit nerve-wracking to head back out into the open ocean, especially after spending so much time in the Chesapeake. So, just like ripping a Band-Aid off, we decided the weather was right, so we should go for it. It was comforting seeing the lights from the cities as we went along the coast. It was a rough, then smooth, then rough again passage, but eventually we could just make out the New York City skyline way off in the distance. We were almost there. And as we rounded Sandy Hook, we were greeted by dolphins. There's something special about getting to your destination, a safe harbor. Rest is near. The dolphins always amplify that feeling for me. We had decided, due to weather and our general exhaustion, that the city would have to wait. So we dropped anchor here inside Sandy Hook, in what looked like it would be a well-protected spot. And sure enough, that evening, as predicted, the winds arrived, and we hunkered down for our biggest blow yet. Good old Goose did great. We didn't even budge, and we were very glad we had invested in a good anchor. But eventually, the wind subsided, and the sun appeared again.
What are we doing?
We're going to New York City.
What?
Yeah. Last night we watched Escape from New York City
Yep.
with Kurt Russell, so we know a lot about the culture and the history
Yeah, we're
of the
prepared.
city. So we're going to head over there and check it out.
So this is the first nice day we've had in, I want to say, weeks. It has just been raining and gray and cloudy. So it feels so nice to have the sun out.
It's time to go to the city.
Nervous and excited. That was the coolest thing ever. Do it again. Yeah, do it again. I can't believe that we're heading towards the city in a boat. I never, ever thought we'd be doing this. I'd be doing this, we'd be doing this. Pretty crazy. Tim, would you just get your first glance up?
Statue of Liberty.
It's so crazy. Like, there's a helicopter up there, all the noises, which would be annoying if you're going to be here for long, but it's kind of just fun. Like, there's sirens going by, you go under the bridge and there's traffic. It's like everything is happening. And it feels like you're going into like Disneyland or something. It's pretty neat. How cool is that? It's so cool.
I'm just blown away. It's overwhelming. It's hard to believe it's real.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a theme park. Like, I think you said it best. It does feel somehow like this is all a model, right? This is actual statue that we're doing.
Lady Liberty. There she stood. I had goosebumps looking up at her, imagining the many travelers that had entered this harbor, weary, scared, yet hopeful. So much unknown, so many leaps of faith, so many new beginnings. Hopes and dreams of the past seemed to hang in the air here, somehow timeless. What a treat it was to experience the city from this perspective.
We did. It's mind-boggling. Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, Manhattan, Brooklyn.
There's so much going on.
So much going on. And this is quiet, I'm sure. I can only fathom if there was some sailing regatta or something else going on. It's got to be insane.
So we just dropped anchor and check out our spot. There's so much happening around that you could just sit out here and watch helicopters and boats and everything happen. So there's the city and then Statue of Liberty. It's so cool. Yeah, although it's not quiet, there's a lot to look at. Oh man, what a spot to be. It felt surreal to be anchored here. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, this was definitely a bucket list item for us, and it checked boxes I didn't know that it could.
Yeah.
Pulling up and seeing the exact same view that our relatives would have when they immigrated to the United States really blew my mind. That part of that view had never changed.
Yeah, and doing it from your home, it was just incredible. So we decided we would do a little bit more sightseeing and hop in Mick the dinghy, get a closer look.
Crazy. So we got that good shot. Now we can go put in here.
A little bit of a bumpy ride.
A little bit bumpy.
What are you doing?
Just grilling meat, staring at some big statue, and I don't know. Seems like a lot of people live over there. No, it's just mind-blowing. Just grilling, no big deal.
So that's the view one direction. Let's see if I can. And then over this way, past our drying sheets.
Oh, she's lit up.
Statue. It's pretty crazy.
Mine.
We're sitting here eating dinner and we can't stop staring because you look one way. Beautiful city. Other way, well, there's the Statue of Liberty. They both seem, especially the Statue of Liberty seems so close. And it is just, it's like watching TV. It's so pretty. It's all lit up and magical. Okay, you probably won't be able to see us very well, but we are sitting on the bow, enjoying the view. It is incredible.
Crazy.
So neat. Wow.
Wow.
So this is the view from the kitchen. Just looking at the Statue of Liberty, no big deal. Come up into the salon. Look at that view. How crazy is that? I want to go down into our bedroom. Look out the windows there. Not a bad view either. So crazy. I still can't get over the views. Like every time you would walk or look somewhere, I would just be like, oh my gosh, wow, look at that. It was crazy.
Yeah, just going about normal life and casually catching sight of either New York City or Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
But to give you a better idea of where we're at, we were right here in between Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. It's hard to believe that's a legal spot to drop anchor, but as long as you don't go inside the security boundary of each island, you're good to go.
Yeah, and it's really neat to be like in the city but removed from it. I don't know, it's I've never experienced New York like that before.
Absolutely. It was a whole new perspective on New York. So with that in mind, we decided to do another little adventure.
Yes.
What are we doing?
We're going into the city.
For what?
Pizza.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
It's a little rolly out here in the daytime, not gonna lie.
But pretty amazing.
It's worth the view. It's a bit of a bumpy ride to get over there, but I sure am glad we got this dinghy. Quite nice.
Good job, Nick.
Yep. Feels crazy that we get to go into this harbor right here. Wow. Just gonna tie up our dinghy here. No big deal. It's alright, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty crazy. There's Mick, the dinghy. And there's the city. Literally, One World Trade Center is right there.
So crazy.
Come here for.
Pizza. The best pizza we've had outside of Italy. I know everyone's gonna have an opinion, but it's the best pizza outside of Italy to us anyways.
So 2 years ago, we ate here because we were staying just a couple blocks away, exploring New York while we were waiting to head to Egypt, which was crazy. So we had put our truck on a shipping container, flown to New York, walked around New York for a little bit, looked out to where our boat was. Not that our boat was there. We didn't even know we were going to buy a boat. So it just feels crazy to be back here. It's pretty neat. Okay, so this ship behind us we saw come in this morning, and it is massive, as you can tell, but it's a sailboat. So we looked it up. It came from France, and it is the, I think, only sailing cargo ship. I don't know if you call it a ship, but that's crazy. So it comes from France loaded with all sorts of like chocolate and wine, and then it comes to New York only twice a year. So this is rare that it is here. And yeah, then they go, I think, to South America. They stock up on coffee and cacao and other products, and then they bring it back to France where they make stuff with it, which is pretty crazy that it's here. It's cool to see it. All right, well, that was our day.
That was our day.
Just leaving.
Little dose of the big city, and then back to solitude, looking at the big city.
Yes.
I think that's our favorite place to be, is like on the edge,
Yeah.
looking at everything going on in a crazy big busy city. And then in it, it's fun for a little bit, and then you're like, okay,
I'm done.
I gotta go.
I'm good.
Well, that's it for this episode. Making it to New York City was a big deal to us.
Absolutely. It was definitely a bucket list, as we mentioned many times, but it was the perspective. And that's one of those things that a boat really does for us, is the perspective that you see a place is completely different than in any other method. And New York was a great example.
Yeah, it totally exceeded any expectations that I had. So,
Worth the cold trip north.
yes, very much. So maybe not your typical sailing adventure, but it was special nonetheless.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you for coming with us. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
What are we gonna watch tonight?
Tonight, we're gonna watch The Warriors, which
are the armies of the night.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The boppers, the hi-hats, the Lizzies, the Gramercy riffs.
Riff!
And these are the Warriors.
We know about the Warriors. They're a heavy outfit.
They're from Coney
I
Island.
want them all.
They've got one way out. They've got one chance. They've got one night.
is also a nice documentary about New York City.
Yep.
In better times, you know.
Yeah.
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 So that's what we're doing.
We're gonna paint our faces.
Yeah.
And
then
dress
go
up.
fight people on roller skates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, go find the subway. And...
Nothing weird about that.